Any thoughts on the new Beetlejuice?
I went to take my kids to see it.
You did?
Yeah, my kids wanted us. We saw it twice.
Oh, wow.
Before I was like, fellas, please don't make me watch this movie.
Well,
But they
I
were
mean,
like,
after showing some alien Romulus.
Had they seen your Beetlejuice?
let's go see Alien Romulus,
Have they
actually,
seen your
rather than the
Beetlejuice?
sequel to a
Xander?
film I meant.
Did they see your
I
Beetlejuice?
they've seen sections of it online, but not the whole thing maybe, which they want to see. But I think that the old Beetlejuice was more charming. You know, it was much more innocent, and and the Beetlejuice now is very grim, and a lot of like effects and
exactly.
what's her name? The gorgeous woman.
Monica Bellucci.
God bless you. Yes, Monica. I should be. My memory shot this morning, but Monica Bellucci, who's always been this like inconceivably gorgeous woman. She's one of the most beautiful women in movies.
I agree.
And she was married to what's his name, who she got divorced from him, her husband, and now she's with Tim. I think they're together. And then of course Tim turns her into Wednesday Addams, you know, count to three, and she's wearing black dresses,
Gotta love Tim.
stitches down her face, and I'm like,
Yeah.
here's the most beautiful woman in the world right now, or one of them. And Tim's turned her into, his, Debbie Scissorhands or whatever. And so, but I thought there's good things. I love Keaton. He's great. He was fun then. He's fun now. And Winona, who looks the same. I mean, she almost looks the same.
Pretty much.
And Winona's so ravishingly beautiful and good. She knows how to play that kind of movie. You pull back even more than you imagined. And like Gina, when Gina did the movie with me, I couldn't even see Gina doing anything. And then we watch it on the movie, and little things she would do with her eyes or whatever to not compete with effects and so forth and makeup, and just play it the smartest you can. And Jeffrey Jones wasn't there, obviously, or Glenn Shaddix, but Catherine O'Hara, who I love, she's funny. I watched that old Deo scene with my kids. I showed them that scene.
Oh, wow.
And she's so funny in that scene with all of her dancing. And she's really funny. I mean, she's just incredibly funny. I loved her in all the movies she did with Chris Guest.
Did the boys have fun with it, the kids?
Yeah, they loved it. A woman comes out of a bunch of boxes and reassembles her body and snaps her leg on and her arm on, and she's doing all this horror. Oh, the kids think that's the greatest thing in the world. All they want is violence and Transformers smashing through skyscrapers. And, we would watch a movie and someone would do a horrible thing to someone in a movie, like a Deadpool type thing, where there's like lots of violent action. And I'd look at my kids and I go, you realize if you did that, you'd be dead, right? Like if you did that in real life.
Right.
So only in the movies do they do all this stupid crap, but they don't die. They get thrown off the top of a building and they smash on the ground. Then they get up and like, ugh. I'm like, you'd be like a pizza on the ground.
You have to explain that to them.
Oh, they don't
It's
get
only
it.
make believe.
Well, movies now rely a bit too much on that, make believe. You watch Marvel films. I mean, I watched a film, I don't want to name what it is, and it's not a bad movie, but it was a movie I watched, and I'm sitting there going, it's like some guy comes out of a tomb in an underground city below Central Park, and he comes out into the middle of Central Park, and he's like, and after this whole build-up and this whole kind of birthing of him returning to his throne, he's like, I have the power. And then 20 minutes later, they go into an underground ice cave in the Arctic, and they go down into the frozen chamber, and they crack that open, and the guy rises up through the slushy, icy water and says, I have the power. I'm like, well, I'm confused. Well, I'm like, well, which one has the power? I mean, I want to be clear here. What's the story here? Is the story about two of you have the power and you're going to get it on? But I mean, all the writing, the screen direction.
It's like you two. Who
Did
has
it
the
involve
power?
a hammer?
Right?
I'm not. There are Marvel movies that I can stomach, but I mean, that's not my kind of movie.
I have a question.
Ooh, JJ, flying in hot.
Let's bring it back to Beetlejuice. This huge hit movie comes out, right? And Tim Burton's a hot director, and all of a sudden it's announced he's doing Batman, and then it's announced Michael Keaton plays Batman. Did you ever feel like, what the hell? How? Because you seem like such a natural Bruce Wayne Batman type. Did he ever?
Well, back then, he said he told my ex-wife Kim was in Batman, and she talked to him, and he said I wasn't casting Batman, the guy, the square jaw, the suit, whatever. He goes, I don't cast it because I was casting Bruce Wayne, and I wanted to get a guy who seemed like he was. You could understand him being more troubled. He goes, it was something like, I don't believe that Alec has any problems at all. You know what I mean, in his life. And that was what somebody said about Julia Roberts. They wanted Julia Roberts to do Prelude to a Kiss. And the director said to me, he goes, I think the character of Rita needs to be taken care of by your character, by Peter. And he goes, and there's nothing about Julia Roberts that leads me to believe she needs to be taken care of at all. She can take good care of herself.
Right.
She's very tough and resilient. And so they got Meg, which was tough because, not that Meg wasn't wonderful, but Mary Louise had done the play with me. We were hoping they would cast Mary Louise because it was really her role, But Beetlejuice, Batman, my ex-wife, and something was said along those lines where like he wanted Keaton because he was much more in his vision of who Bruce Wayne is. And I looked at her and I was like, well, I could play up. I could do that. I could have problems. I could externalize my problems. But yeah, so I always thought about that. I thought, I'd love to have played Batman. But it seems like it's been a tough part for people. Like a lot of people, it's like a sticky problem for them because it's like, Keaton played it. And everybody since, Val Kilmer, Clooney, Ben, it hasn't done anything for them other than giving them a paycheck.
Yeah.
No one's sitting there going, oh, I've got to watch that movie, So I think Keaton scored in the first film, which was very naive.
Right.
But when you watch that first film, that's what you have to have is great nutty actors. This town needs an enema.
Right.
You need lines like that in the movie and make it fun and action. And all the Batman movies since then have been like, the one I liked is Christian Bale. Him I liked him. He's good. He's a great actor. He's a great actor.
But don't you think it's because he nailed the Bruce Wayne part, which I thought you would have. I just thought.
Christian Bale. I mean, I'm like, he was perfect. I loved him. And what's his name who played Bane? Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy.
Oh, they were great. It was a good. I like that one. I mean, violent, very violent, but I like that. Oh, one more.
Question for Beth.
Question for you, by the way. Hello. Perk up now.
All right.
Oh,
Beth.
I'm always perfect.
jazz hands.
Go
Jazz
ahead.
hands, Beth. Jazz hands. Jazz hands.
Go ahead.
This is called One Bad Movie. Beth, which movie from each of your brothers did you think, yeesh, and
It's
you
a
didn't have the
steaming
heart
pile
to
of-
tell?
I did not like, is it LA Confidential?
I wasn't in that.
Which is the one? Okay.
Kim's
so
in that.
Okay, so
Kim
what's
won
the
an
one
Oscar
that you
for
did?
that.
Okay, no, then that's not the one I said.
Close enough.
I just want to throw that in
Okay,
there.
which is the movie you did with Kim?
The Getaway.
The Getaway.
You didn't like that?
No,
The guy who was the cameraman, we're having a sex scene.
That's
and
what I
Kim and I are
didn't like.
completely naked on the
I didn't
bed, and we're
like
backlit. You can really not see
Careful.
very much. And we're doing it. And the guy's name was, I'll never forget his name, was Jimmy Murrow. And he was operating the Steadicam. And Jimmy Murrow would come in and reveal us, and we're having sex, and we're kissing, and she's on top of me, and he's going like this with the camera and whatever he's doing. And he goes and puts, and he's a born-again Christian, and he goes and puts the camera on the stand in the corner and stands in the corner like almost has to catch his breath. Or he's praying to Christ to forgive him for making this movie with us. And Kim would put her robe on, walk up to him and go, Jimmy, are you all right, Jimmy? Because he would be like, standing in the corner, like recovering from having to watch us naked, simulating
right,
sex.
right.
You didn't like that movie?
No.
No.
Well,
You have
it's
something in
gross.
common with Jimmy Murrow.
It's gross. So to see your brother be with the real person that the person is with, to see them.
There were a lot of things wrong with that movie, but I liked making the movie. We had fun.
Well,
Hey, listen,
I'm
we did
sure
the
you
movie.
did.
We did the movie. I was supposed to do the movie with Sharon Stone.
Oh, that
And I said I
wouldn't
only
have been
want to
good.
only wanted to make the movie with Kim because I wanted to get her off the thing where she had lost her lawsuit.
Right.
So that was the first job she did after losing
Right.
her case.
You
so
want
I
to make her
wanted to
feel better.
I wanted to get out of the house and go work, which is the thing she enjoys most. Kim loves to shoot. She loves making movies. That's her whole life. Anything else?
Beth, same
And then
question
the
for
other
Stephen.
one was
No,
Stephen.
no, listen, we need to ask you. Go ahead. Stephen.
she
Same question
wanted-
for Stephen.
You hate a film of mine? You think it's a steaming pile of dung?
I probably don't remember the. Well, I didn't really like, just like with this, the sex part with the threesome. I don't think any of that is.
In
you know,
that
it's
way,
very hard to
in that
watch
section
your
of movies
siblings.
of yours, you're kind of a dung beetle. I mean, like rolling a ball of dung down Hollywood Boulevard. You know what I mean?
You just don't like
You're a
watching
dung-
your
that's right, a
brothers
dung beetle.
doing those kinds
Dung
of
beetle
things.
Productions,
That's what
we
the
should set up.
problem is.
I like that.
You don't like that.
With a picture of you as a beetle with a chunk of poop in front of you going,
He's always taking over.
you're pushing it going,
Always.
I'm in. Let's do it.
and I'm standing far away with my eye on the watch going
Yeah.
to you.
Are we
Let's go.
done?
You're still doing
Get
that.
it?
You're still doing that.
Two things.
Are we done?
Two things.
Two things. Alec, of all the legends that you worked with, who gave you the best advice? Life advice, movie advice, acting advice?
There's a couple of them, and it's a little vaguer, more like in acting ideas that you can use in your work about economizing and taking away and doing it simpler and simpler and simpler, and not being loud or forceful or obvious or what have you. But I'll never forget, I did this show, Knots Landing, and the man that came in at the end of the show to play my father was this wonderful, very well-known method actor named character actor named Albert Salmi, Salmi. And he taught at Gonzaga University up in near Tacoma or whatever it is up there in Oregon, near the Idaho Panhandle, I think. Albert Salmi played my father who had abandoned our family and came back into my life as I was a young man. And Salmi was sitting in a chair, and everyone had left the set to go do something, and the grips and things were moved. They were resetting the shot, and the cast had left to go to they had bungalows on the stages. They had old-fashioned, because we shot at stage 26 at MGM, where they did The Wizard of Oz. The Yellow Brick Road set was there. So Knots Landing's principal set was there, their principal stage, and they had these big old wooden on wheels, like circus carts, but they were like big cabanas for the cat. That was their dressing room. They're beautiful and old. And they'd all go. They'd all say, okay, we're going to cut and we're going to relight, and we'll come get you. Boom, everybody would leave except some of the crew. And Albert Salmi sat there reading the LA Times or whatever, and I sat there, and he goes, you're going to stick around? I go, yeah. He goes, that's good. He goes, don't leave the set. Never leave the set. That's where it's happening. He goes, don't go to your trailer. Don't make phone calls. You get a newspaper, sit in the corner there, and just always stay connected to the set.
That's interesting.
That was like the most amazing thing. One of the most amazing things somebody told me.
Best advice I ever got was Mike Binder.
And what was that?
I was working on a movie with him, and I wasn't struggling to try to get a certain take of a moment, but I just was trying to do it so many different ways, which is one kind of idea of how to do that. And Mike Binder comes up to me, he goes, hey, that was great. You're doing so great. And can we try just one my way? And I'm like, yeah, man, go ahead. He's like, he goes, I want you to just say the words. Don't act. Just say the words. I'll never forget him. Yeah. I could cry. I'll never forget. He was a stand-up comic directing a movie, like one of his first films, and I'm like,
what movie?
Crossing the Bridge,
right,
with Jason Gedrick and Josh Charles, which was a story from Mike's growing up in Michigan and
pushed his movie to next year.
Say again?
I'm not doing his movie this fall. They're going to push to next year. But it remind me of, so I do The Departed. No, I do The Good Shepherd with Bob, and I'm there with Matt in front of me, and De Niro is talking to Bob. I forgot Bob Richardson, one of the greatest legendary cinematographers in history. Bob Richardson, and Jimmy Whittaker, who did The Cooler, great DP. But he would talk to Bob first. They'd say, cut, and Bob would talk to Bob. Then De Niro would finally come around and say, you're very good, Alec. You're very good. Now, I want you to do it again, and do it slower. And when he talks, you don't care. You're very good, Alec. You are very good. But do it slower, and whatever he says, you don't care. Talk quietly, more quietly, slower. Okay? All right. And I'm sitting there going, and you realize that that's how those guys, everything is such an economy. Guilty pleasures misunderstood. It's so bad it's good.